Tubers, Tibets, and of course my favorite group, Crazy People. Coming up is going to be the story of Baby May and I finally getting married. Or are we? Here it comes. Okay, so our little marriage odyssey actually began in December.
Yeah.
Because back in March, I went back to America. This is last year, and I got the valid original copy of my divorce decree, which we knew we were going to need. So that was in hand. And then the ensuing months, May and I chatted about what kind of wedding are we going to have. And I totally left it up to you.
Yeah.
And I said, what kind do you want? And you replied, I want a church wedding.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay. So you and your sister went down to the church, what, in Cebulan?
In Sibulan.
Yeah. And came back and said, no church wedding. And I never really got the full details. But there was a lot more hoops to go through to get married through the Catholic Church.
Yeah, more requirements.
More requirements and more money and all kinds of stuff. So that didn't bother me. I was willing to do it, but you said no deal. And then I offered, if you remember, that you could have a big wedding.
Yeah.
That you could have the big dress and the flower girls and all that jazz. And have your father walk you down the aisle.
Yeah.
And have a best man and wah, right? And you thought about that for a couple days, and you told me no.
Yeah.
Because you
changed mine.
Why did you change your mind?
Because it's good for the simple. Because it's good for your money. Save the money. If you spend for special wedding, it's nice simple, and then the money save.
Okay, so you're a cheapskate. And I think that the bottom line is you and me just wanted to get married. And we didn't need to make a big production or show out of it. Now, I'm not disrespecting those that do. I think it's lovely. I think the ceremony is lovely. I think it's wonderful that they do that. I understand it's every girl's dream or many girls' dreams to go down the aisle. It was your dream. But I think you just looked at it more pragmatically and said, well, she says save the money, but also your father has diabetes.
Yeah, have diabetes.
It's very, very difficult for him to walk.
Yeah.
So him actually walking her down an aisle would have been a half-hour process. So God love him. So anyway, just to cut to the chase, we decided let's just do a civil ceremony. And then after that, if we want to have some sort of reception or something, we could. And we didn't even do that.
Save the money. It's good.
Save the money one more time. And you bought your dress. Did you buy your dress at Okay?
The first, I think I need buy in the Okay. But I think on the Ripple, I think it's good for I buy in the nice store.
So we went to the nice stores.
Yeah.
And what happened?
I buy there is like 400.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Okay is 100.
Right.
Yeah.
So which I still don't know. Which one did you get? Did you get the Okay?
No, I only look in the Okay, but because I thinking with you is good. You like the nice dress.
So you bought a new dress.
Yeah, I buy the new
But
dress.
it was only 400 pesos?
400.
Wow.
Yeah.
$8 she spent on her wedding dress. Did her own hair, did her own makeup, all that jazz. We had your mother and your father.
Yeah.
We had your sisters.
Complete family.
And about 8 people all together. But we're getting way ahead of ourselves. That's when we had the ceremony. What led up to the ceremony was not a nightmare, but it was quite an adventure. It was very tedious. Here's how the snafus began. We mentioned that in December we started all of this. We had gone to the municipality, got the list of what we needed, which was, by the way, a very incomplete list. It had 6 things on it. But we went out and did all 6 things. If I can remember correctly, we went to an attorney and we got an affidavit.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. This is in December. We sent off for what's called a Cinemar. The Cinemar state is a PSA.
Yeah.
It states that she's single and that I'm single. She's not married. I'm not married. All that jazz. We're capable of being married. There was a Barangay certificate clearance. I don't think there was a police clearance, but there was 2 or 3 other things that, the divorce documents, a couple of other things that we had to have, and we thought we were cool. So we got our 6 things. So we had the divorce, we had the Cinemar, we had the Barangay clearance, IDs,
Yeah.
and the divorce papers and passports, and we filled out their form.
Yeah.
And we had the lawyer's affidavit. So we went through all that. That took a couple of weeks to get all that handled. And because on the Cinemar, you have to go through what's called PSA online, the Philippine Statistics Authority, and they send it by courier. So we got ours in December, and then we went, because we started this whole deal in December. And then in January, we had all of our ducks in a row, so we thought. And then we went to the municipality, and the first thing, she thumbed through it, the woman in charge, thumbed through it, and she said, well, I'm afraid your Cinemar is expired.
Yeah.
Now, the Cinemar is good for 90 days, but it was now January, and she looked at it and said, I said, why is it expired? We just got it last month. She said, yeah, well, that was last year. So it's dated 2022. It doesn't say 2023. And I took one swing at her. When I say swing, I mean one remark. I said, yeah, but it's still within the time period. She goes, no, sir, I'm afraid it's expired. You have to get another one. Okay. So we said, okay. And I thought, here we go. Here comes the rodeo. So we went back, got online, sent off for another Cinemar.
Yeah.
What does that take? A week, 10 days? Quiet enough. Our dog's barking. She wants to be in the video. So now we get our Cinemar, and it's all cool and groovy. And so we bring all this paperwork back, and she said, I think at that point we had to take a class. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The sequence of events is muddled in my mind because it's been so long, and there were so many of them. So we went to a class that was scheduled for a week later. Nothing happens like right now. So a week later, approximately, we went to the 4-hour class.
Yeah.
And it was really about a 3-hour class. And it wasn't a bad class. I got to say, I think that it's a good idea for people that are getting married to go have a little counseling before they pull the trigger. They talked primarily about children, the proper treatment and discipline of children, what you can and can't do. They talked about finances, how to properly manage your money. I thought that was solid. And they said that husband and wife, just because you're married, doesn't mean that gives me a license to bat her around. And it doesn't give her a license to bat me around, hit me upside the head with a frying pan. No, there is to be none of that. You're to respect and love and cherish each other and treat each other with dignity. And there is no physical abuse, either of children or of spouses. And I couldn't have agreed more. So I really thought the class was pretty productive.
Yeah.
I liked the guy. And then after that, so we had that dealio. But it had 3 other check marks on it that we had to go do. So we went over to the municipality tax bureau, and we had to pay a municipality tax on her income and on my income, and 2 separate fees. And that was no big deal. I think mine was 1,000 pesos and hers was 20 or 40 pesos tax on our income. And we paid that. We went somewhere else, and for the life of me, I can't remember where it was. It was another entity, somewhere up in the mayor's office or somewhere, another place. I apologize. The paperwork is not in front of me, all of it. But the last one was the health department. There was the, there's the hospital, or there's the, they have a medical care facility here in Valencia. And so I thought, okay, we're going to have to sit through another class now, and they're going to talk about, safe sex or something like that. Yeah. But all they did was have us sit on a bench outside. They collected 100 pesos. They signed off and sent us home.
Yeah. It's so easy.
Well, it was just like, well, okay. They got their taste. And now we've got that thing completed, right?
Yeah.
So we take it back to the lady, and she said, okay, now this is missing. and you need, see, it wasn't on the list. We had a list of 6 things, and then the class and all the other 4 little the other 3 other little subjects were taken care of. So we thought we were done, but oh no. Now we had to go back to the barangay.
Yeah.
And we went to the barangay to get a barangay clearance of some sort. And so, okay, great. So we got the barangay clearance, which means basically that we reside here in Valencia and that we are entitled to be married in that municipality. We're not going outside of our area to use their services. We brought that back, and she said, oh, okay, but now you need this thing from the barangay captain that says you're good people, essentially, and that you haven't caused any ruckuses or any problems. You're in good standing in the community. Okay. So we go back to the barangay captain, and he's at lunch, and so we cool our heels. May finally talks to the guy. He signs off on it. We go back. I thought we were done, and it was only on May. It wasn't on me too. So we had to go back to this guy. Now he's gone. And the next day, I think it was, and it was raining. Oh, this is January. It was raining every day. So we go back, and now, God bless May, she runs in, and I don't even show up. I'm just sitting out in the car, and she gets one for me. We take it back, and she says, great, now we need 2 copies of each. Now they don't have a copy machine, so we have to take it down. Now, this process of getting this and that and the other has been lost on me, to be honest with you. It's been so long. But just for the sake of this video, I'm going to tell you that examples of a copy, a notarized copy of this clearance, of that clearance, happened 3 or 4 different times. We kept going back and saying, okay, here we got this, here we got that. And then we kept being told, okay, well, you need 1 more of this, 1 more of that. We would show up with it, and then it needed to be copied or notarized or dated or signed differently or whatever it was. And finally, I want to say, after about 3 weeks, it was done. And the final straw was when we came with the complete package, was handed it to the lady, and she said, okay, now we need a photocopy of the divorce. And May took one look at me and said, you go smoke, I'll go do this for you. She knew my head was about to explode. And so I sat down on the bench, went outside. I never once got lippy with the lady. Never once, as many times as my head was about to explode through this 3 weeks debacle, did I lose it. Internally, I was going nuts, and May could feel it. But anyway, so now we have the complete package, and it's time to go see the mayor. So the mayor is going to do the civil ceremony. And this is about the 3rd week of January, and I want to get married on my birthday, which is February 3rd. I thought we had plenty of time. So went in, and it turned out that the mayor was not going to be able to see us until February 17th.
Yeah.
That was the date that we could get in. There were other things happening before us. Okay, and so I wanted the February 3rd. That didn't happen. I wanted February 14th, but you don't get to pick it because that's Valentine's Day. And you don't get to pick and choose your day. It has to be on a Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
And it had to be in the morning. And that was that. So when we went up, we said, okay, we made our appointment to have the wedding ceremony on February 17th at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay. 9 a.m. And as we were leaving or getting ready to leave, she said, but we're going to need your contact information. And they know up in Appalong, our phones don't work. They took our Facebook messengers.
Yeah.
Remember the secretary?
Yeah.
Got our messengers. She knows that works. So I go, what do you need to contact us for? And she says, well, sometimes the mayor doesn't show up. No disrespect to the mayor. I should word that differently. Sometimes the mayor has an emergency meeting he's got to go to. And so I said, and I go, so how do I know that we're actually going to get married on Friday? And she said, well, we'll message you if anything changes. And I said, all right. So we left, and I thought to myself, would we have planned this if we had decided to have, a zillion people come and a reception afterward and all this, that, and the other, and the marriage didn't take place? That would have been I said, boy, I'm glad we went the route we did. And what if we had planned to leave the next day on a honeymoon to, pick a spot?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know until we actually get married. We made a trip up there Thursday, the day before, and went upstairs to the office and talked to a different person because his secretary wasn't there. And I said, hey, we're supposed to get married tomorrow. Do you know, can you look me in the blues and tell me that it's going to happen? Yeah, he's going to be here. There's no problem. I said, okay. So we called the parties involved, your mother and your father, Ray and Jane, who are our witnesses. Ray, God bless him, he drove all around and picked everybody up. We had 5 or 6 or 7 people there.
Yeah.
And we did the deal. Couldn't have been nicer. Had a nice little civil ceremony. Didn't get it all on video because somebody screwed up with the phone.
Yeah, my sister.
But anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so we got this, and I thought we were done. This is how stupid I am. Of course, you guys already know I'm stupid. But we got this deal. I don't know if it's going to show up. It'll probably be reversed.
Marriage certificate.
But it's certificate. It's a certificate of marriage, and it's signed by the mayor, witnessed, and all that happy stuff. You just have to take my word for it. I know it's coming in backwards because we're in selfie mode, but you get the drill. So I thought we were married. I thought we were done. But oh no, this is not recognized by the Philippines until it's sent off to Manila.
Yeah.
And Manila has to give it its kiss of approval. So they told us that the whole package is going to be sent to Manila, and it has to be blessed by them, I suppose, or signed off by them. And that should take about 30 days. So this holds no weight. Am I holding it right? This holds no weight whatsoever. The only reason we were kind of and still are in hurry up mode is she's qualified now after going through driving school. She has a learner's permit.
Yeah.
She wants to get a driver's license. It's just a matter of this piece of paper and completing one little class, and then she can go down to the LTO, which is our version of the DMV here in the Philippines, and you get your driver's license, and you want it to say McGill.
Yeah.
And you have a postal ID, and it's expired, and it needs to say McGill. And we need to re-register your motorbike.
Yeah.
And it's going to turn around when we do that. It's registration time. So she's going to change the name while she's at it to McGill.
Yeah.
And we were going to leave the country as husband and wife, and coming back with an official license, marriage certificate, means that I would get what's called a ballot buy-in visa, and that I'm good for a year. And no more back and forth to immigration. So there's a few things on the table here that are important to us. Oh, and changing your passport around to McGill.
Yeah.
And just make travel so much simpler, legal issues simpler, my will to her simpler, just simplify. So they told us it would take 30 days for that to process. And I said, okay, cool in the gang. We'll just wait. Didn't want to. Went down. I renewed my visa for another 2 months. And we've been cooling our heels for 30 days. We cooled our heels for 30 days. Nothing. And we went back up to the municipality. We didn't get the same lady. We got a secretary. And we said, hey, we didn't get our license. Where is it? And she said, well, she just kind of glad-handed us. She goes, well, sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 months. Just wait and, check back in a few weeks. And like a dummy, I said, okay. And so we checked back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And nothing had happened. And then we got word from somebody that you can go on an internet site called PSA Hotline,
Yeah.
Philippine Statistics Authority. We went on and we requested our, this is a marriage
Certificate.
a certificate. This is a certificate. So I
Yeah.
guess they're going to send us a license. And so we need this license to take care of the passport, the driver's license, the visa, blah, blah, blah. And we paid our money. We sent it off. They sent us back an email that said, we can't find your stuff. It's lost. Now, I was under the impression that they sent our package off via courier, with a bunch of other people. And so I thought, oh man, maybe it got lost in the mail. Maybe it got mixed up with somebody else's. All this thoughts going through my head. And so then we just went back and they said, well, just ask again. It's just taking time. We applied and online, paid the money again, and
Yeah.
twice now we have received this from them. I know you can't see it, but it's official. It's got all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you what
From
it says.
PSA.
It says Philippine Statistics Authority, Office of the Civil Registrar, to whom it may concern, we certify that Paul and May's certification is, allegedly does not appear in our national indices of marriages. So it's saying that we're not married. According to them, we're just not married. And I thought this was it. And they said, hey, we found your stuff. We're sending it out to you. We've gotten 2 of these because we keep going off of false hope. So I'm down renewing my visa a second time since all of this because I'm doing it in 2-month increments. Now we're into, what month are we in? May? And when I'm doing my visa at JRC, they overheard me talking to another couple about this debacle, and they said, go to the brick and mortar PSA office and they'll straighten you out. And we said, really? I didn't even know there was one. And so we went down there and we went to window 6, which is
Yeah.
where we're supposed to go. And we went in and said, this is our issue. And the woman said, no problem. Looked at me and said, I will pay 155 pesos, fill this out, come back on Wednesday after 10 o'clock, 7 days, and we will have your document for you. I said, really? She said, yeah. And I believed her for about 2 days. And then day 3, 4, 5, and 6 came creeping into my head, and I started to doubt it. I said, this is one of those unicorn deals where nothing has gone right so far. And so we went back.
Yeah.
And what did we get? I don't have it to show you. It's around here somewhere. But it's a little letter that says, there's a signature missing.
Yeah, you need back to the in Valencia Municipal
You got to go back to
for request.
So I said, I don't believe it, man. I just don't get it. So, but I do. And so we went back up to Valencia later on, I think the next day.
Yeah.
We just said, screw it, let's just go tomorrow. And we went back. This is about a week and a half. Well, no, it was about 4 or 5 days ago from this video. We went back and saw the lady. Well, we went to go see the lady, but she was in a meeting. So we had to go down to Valencia and eat a bunch of food we didn't want and drink a bunch of drinks that we didn't want to drink just to kill time. We had the dog. And so we killed an hour and a half just to wait for her to get out of her meeting at 4:30. We went back up and lo and behold, there she was. I showed her the paper. Actually, May showed her the paper. And then the lady called me up and I was cool. I just, but this time I'm like, let's see what happens. And she was actually visibly distraught, which was a good sign to me. She was upset. She said, no, I signed this. The letter said that her signature was not on there. And she said, I do this every day. I know I signed this. Hold on a second. And I was waiting for her to say, come back tomorrow or later or whatever. No, she jumped all over it. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, well, I'm calling the PSA.
Yeah.
And I looked at May and I said, wow, action. Finally, we're like moving forward here. And I was really pumped up. And so she gets on the horn. And what do you know? The lady at the PSA said, hold on, I'll go pull their file. And so she went downstairs or wherever she went. She got our file, got back on the phone with the lady in the municipality and said, you signed it. It's cool. I don't know what the problem is, so I'm going to rescan it to Manila. And I picked up on the word scan and I said, do you mean to tell me that they've got our package here in town? She said, yeah. And they scan it? Well, that was the last thing I thought. I thought they sent it by courier. She said, yeah. And I said, what? For some reason, that just gave me a bunch of relief. I felt like if our package had been lost, we'd be starting all over again. But that's not the case. So where we sit as of today is we're still not officially married. And we are now told that I said, how long do we need to wait until we have an answer to this? I forget using the word resolution because I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop again. But when are we going to know? And she said 14
days.
14 business days, which is 3 weeks. So that will be in a little less than 3 weeks. Hopefully, we will be able to go down.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll just go to Valencia first and say, hey, we want to call PSA for us again before we hump all the way in and get a number and sit in the chair. Because trust me, kids, on all these little deals that we had to go in, it's not like we busted in and said, hey, we need a copy. Hey, we need a notary. And they just said, oh, sure, come on over. No. Everywhere we went for a notary, a copy of this, of that, pay, it was, okay, fine, sir, fine, mom, have a seat and wait, and we'll call you up. And so we were spent the better part of January sitting and waiting and collecting and getting. And we are still not officially recognized as a married couple. So the ballot buy-in visa is going to be on hold. Your driver's license is going to be on hold. Your ID is going to be on hold. Our trip out of the country is going to be on hold. And you know what? I've told myself over the years that, in fact, this isn't original. This was told to me by my friend. He said, Paul, when you're living under those circumstances, there's 3 A's. There's adjust, adapt, and most importantly, accept. So since I've been here, I like to think that I've been able to adapt. I like to think that I've been able to adjust. And I can tell you with a full heart that I accept the Philippines. I love it here. I love my wife. I love the place. I love the people. And I accept what's happening to us right now, which is why I'm still smiling. Okay, kids. I want to just real quickly say that I think that what May and I experienced throughout all this is the exception, not the rule. We have spoken to other people, and they've said, yeah, we got married, and a month later they got their license, no problem.
Yeah.
And I heard just the other day, a guy's still waiting a year later, but his circumstances were different. He got married in America. So if anything else, that's kind of the update on how we got married and why we got married the way that we did, which was a simple, non-flashy, if you will, ceremony. We just wanted to get married. We just wanted to make it happen. And we didn't want to showboat it too much, but that's just us. All right, kids, we'll see you in the next video.
Yes. Bye-bye.